Aden Thomas. On 567 Cape Talk.
We've been talking tourism this month. We've been looking at how we can exploit new markets. We've been looking at how perhaps to lure younger tourists, how to open up new avenues of tourism, looking at the notions of voluntourism, of extreme sports tourism, just in an attempt maybe to get more people to come not to South Africa, or not just to South Africa, but to the Western Cape as well. There were some reports a while ago of occupancy hovering at around 25% across the industry. And this just a year after the World Cup, where we were struggling to find accommodation, and we were all expecting good things to come out of the goodwill generated during that World Cup. We were wanting the foreigners to come back in their thousands, in their hundreds of thousands in the coming years. It's not quite panning out that way. No need to panic at this stage, but some solid planning at this early stage in the game, I think, will see us much better off as a tourism destination in the years to come. Andrew Moth is on the line. He's the editor of Hotel and Restaurant magazine, so he's got a fair idea of how the industry operates. Morning, Andrew.
Morning to you, Aden.
As we've been delving into this issue over the course of the past couple of days, I've taken loads of correspondence from people saying, Aden, it's cheaper to go on a really good holiday elsewhere in the world, that's even as South Africans, than it would be to try and do the same thing in our country. So I'm going to ask you the same question I've been asking so many others. Have we just priced ourselves out of the market? Are we too much of a premium destination for our own good?
No. I think a lot of these perceptions about rip-off prices and pricing ourselves out of the market, first of all, are simply just not true. And secondly, I think you mentioned the World Cup just now. I would suggest that if the World Cup were being held now, and it is just a year after it was held, the stadiums in this country would not be as full as they were a year ago.
All right, why do you say that?
Domestic economy is the big problem.
Surely it's a lot better 12 months later than it was 12 months ago. We seem to be in a recovery phase now of the economy, where 12 months ago we were literally just coming out of a really bad economic period.
No, I think the length and depth of the and I'm going to call it, let's talk about domestic tourism, because I think that's so important at this time of the year. The average South African consumer has got less disposable income now than he had a year ago. And this is why so many restaurants, and talking about the Western Cape, this is why so many restaurants are struggling. But this, of course, is why so many restaurants are doing fabulous discount deals at the moment.
Yeah. Well, what kind of deals? Just as an example, what are they doing to try and pull numbers?
It starts at very simple things. I was wandering around in Somerset Mall early yesterday morning. The coffee shops in there, one had a sign up, 10% discount for all pensioners.
Yeah.
And it starts at that level, and you can go on and on from there, and then move on eventually to the great phenomenon of the moment, which appears to be this Groupon scheme.
Yeah.
Where they're offering tremendous discounts in hotels and restaurants, and these are really working, apparently. This is bringing in thousands of customers to hotels and restaurants that they never expected to get at this time of the year. And they're offering discounts of, it amounts to 50%.
There's something wrong with the mindset, and help me understand this one, Andrew. There's something wrong with the mindset that says to me, Aden, you're welcome anywhere in this country as a local, as long as it's winter. As long as the weather's shocking, we'll give you our hotel free of charge, virtually. The second the weather gets good, that's when we try and make a mint. That's when we look at people from elsewhere in the world who then are able to enjoy some of the finer facilities, some of the better restaurants that we have to offer. Is there no way we can strike some kind of happy medium on this one? Can we not, as local tourists, consider going on holiday in our own country in peak season?
Yeah, one of the difficulties is, this is a global phenomenon, and I've lived in Cape Town for a long time. One of the simple facts of the matter is eating in hotels and restaurants and being a tourist is for people with money. And, with the greatest respect to the good citizens of Plumstead, Parow, Pelican Park, and so on, just like the people who live in Peckham in London, for instance, they don't expect to be able to eat in the Lanesborough or the Ritz. And unfortunately, the people who in Plumstead, Parow, Pelican Park, wherever it may be, if they're struggling and they've got no jobs, they certainly can't afford to eat in any restaurant, and even in the best possible circumstances where you've got a double income family, even they would struggle to eat in a smart restaurant because of the state of the local economy. We've been overtaken, I think, by the cost of living. Salary increases have been poor if you're lucky enough to get one, and that I think is the current problem. It's the domestic economy which is so difficult, and of course then there's the public holidays. We just have far too many public holidays in this country. It's ruined business for a lot of hotels and restaurants. And I see next month, or is it the month after, early in August, we've got National Women's Day, which falls on a Tuesday, and that's going to be really difficult for the hotels and restaurants.
Surely the other way around, Andrew. I mean, if it's a long weekend, that day you're talking about is on a Tuesday. Many people take the Monday off. Schools are closed. That's a good time to go away for a long weekend. Surely those are little spikes for your industry.
One would think so, but the bulk of business and let's just talk now about hotels, the bulk of business in hotels is corporate and government. More than, I haven't got the exact figures, but, any hotelier of, 3 stars and upwards will tell you that, when banks are closed and offices are closed and governments are on holiday, business is just not there because, their business is corporate business, it's conferences, it's that kind of thing. And that's what's hammered the hotel industry at the moment. From a restaurant point of view, I think people may well sort of take the opportunity to go out, and the odd little bed and breakfast might benefit from it. But, operating on a public holiday has its difficulties. You've got to pay the staff more.
All right, interesting insights. And maybe that's why we're struggling. We've geared ourselves towards a business market as opposed to more of a leisure market. We tell the world, come here because it's wonderful. Spectacular scenery and sights and good weather. And, then we give our hotels to business people locally. Doesn't make sense. Do we even consider ourselves tourists in our own city, in our own country? Do we take up those challenges as they present themselves? Still, I think there's loads for us to be talking about as far as this one is concerned.